Okay, so it looks like we're okay now. Um, so I'm just going to get in. I hope you guys can hear me. Let me put on my headphones so I can see what it actually sounds like. Let's see. So if you can hear me, yeah, sounds like you can hear me. If I'm going this way, it gets pulled out. Okay. Um, So I've laid my colors out on the palette. I'm going to be using this brush right now. I'm just going to kind of go over. I'm using my number 2 medium, which is linseed oil and turpentine. Oh, no, actually, I'm not going to use that one because I was using just stand oil. So I'm going to continue using the stand oil here. Have a look. This is Winsor & Newton. And I'm just going to use a little bit of that and just mix it in with my paints. I'm not going to do anything else with it. I'm not going to do any glazing right now, so I'm not going to use very much. I think I'm going to put some in this little container where I usually put my liquid. I'm not going to use liquid on this one today. I did a video on this on my YouTube channel about the differences between liquid and stand oil and when to use liquid, when to use stand oil, or when I like to use liquid and when I like to use stand oil. There is no definitive way. Much of it is your own preference. You know, what do you like to use? For some artists, liquid is the way to go. For others, it is not. So it is a personal preference, and it's kind of nice to get a few different types of mediums that you can work with, so that you can get to know them in an intimate kind of way, so that you just know what to do, right? Okay, so what I want to do here now is, I think you can see the palette, right? Adding a little bit of stand oil on my brush. One thing that I do often is just kind of, when the painting is touch dry, I'll just kind of go over it with a minimal amount of medium. And I mean just a drop, and spreading it out as best as you can on the canvas. Stand oil can be very thick and gooey, but oh boy, if you see the video that I did this little test using liquid and stand oil, and you know, how long it took for each to dry. And what I really loved, the difference in liquid gives a matte finish, and stand oil has this beautiful glossy finish. And I like the glossy stuff. That's my thing. Others don't like it, and that's perfectly fine. And it depends on the painting as well. So, okay. It has been a long time since I've been here, well over a week. And I just want to connect again. So my way of doing that is I'll just start with the sky, and I'm going to mix my sky color. I've got titanium white, an ultramarine blue. Just going to mix that up. And I always add a little bit of the contrast color to dull it down, because skies are just not that intense. So I'm going to make my own orange. Just a little bit. I guess I don't need that much quinacridone. The quinacridone reds in general are very, very, very intense. So it takes just a little bit to get what you need. You can see this is a very orangey, a red orange. I just want more of an orange, so adding more yellow. And I'm using mostly a warm yellow and not the cool yellow, because I don't want, when I'm in the second stage of the painting, like I am now, and this is a warm, lovely summer Greek day, I will tend to go a little bit warmer. So my mixes will be more warm colors. I don't know if you can tell how much that tiny bit of orange has toned down the glare of the blue. It's too bright. You can see that it's much too light. The value's too high. That's what I mean by that. If anybody is sending comments, I'm glad you're here. I cannot see my laptop right now. Let's see how that goes. That's better. I am going to give it a really beautiful lift, the sky. So I'm going to add cerulean blue, which may be my absolute favorite blue. And tilt it towards green. Now, here are some of the things that I'm thinking about now. I have my major design. I'm going to have the waters coming that way, the rocks formation coming this way, the trees coming up this way. And so most of my brush strokes will be in the opposite direction, right? I don't want to do brush strokes this way. It just doesn't seem to work for me. So I'm doing a zigzag kind of thing. And yes, it is so outrageously subtle that you might not even notice. And, you know, you may be thinking, well, who cares? And do you really even need to think about it that way? And I would say yes. Yes, you do. But it all plays a role. It all creates the overall sensation, the overall feel of the painting, and can just really enhance in such a subtle way. But you know, if you think about like someone that you really love, like some person that you absolutely adore, right? A lot of times you come to understand that it's the subtleties of who they are rather than one big outstanding thing, right? It's the subtleties. And that's where we are now. We're in the subtleties, the half notes of the symphony, the things that most people will not notice. And those are the underlying things that in your offering to the world with your painting, you can really hone in on these beautiful and subtle areas. Okay, how's that looking? Oh my goodness, low battery. Wouldn't that be fun to just like die out? Hold on a sec. Don't die. There we go. Are we still here? Okay. So, I hope you guys can hear me all right. I have a fan going in the background because it is hot. Okay, I'll be painting back up into this sky area. I like that better. So it's getting me reconnected. The sun is over here, so this part of the sky up here would be a cooler, barely perceptible change, right? From this side. And also up in the dome of the sky. Things coming. Yes, 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 yes. Hey Blanca, good morning. So nice to see you, honey. So, now I'm just going to wipe off my brush and start working on those background trees. And I'm just, the purpose of what I'm doing today is I've done my second layer pretty much, right? And I just need to adjust a few things, to fix a few things so that the painting will work beautifully, hopefully. So washing out my brush with a little bit of turpentine. And, you know, yeah, no, you don't need to get it fully spick and span clean. It's fine. As long as you get most of it off. And especially if you're using a limited palette, you don't really have to worry about muddying up the colors. Okay. I'm going to mix up a green. So the green in the background is going to be sky color, basically. So let me get mixing in the sky color with raw umber. And you can see it's not a bad green right there. It's actually not a green. I would use the lemon yellow. Add a little bit more sky color. And let's see if we can, you know, pretty much get what's going on there. I'm going to need some more. Kind of working with the olive green type. I got too much. You can see that on the palette, right? Probably not showing up too great, but okay. But something's happening. Want to get in the shadow colors of this background tree. Just want to keep it pushed back, like way up on top of the hill. There's more over here. The white kind of chalked it up. Made a little bit chalky colored, adding a little yellow to warm that up a little bit. Okay. Like I said, it's been a while since I've painted this, so the way I work is I can get disconnected easily, and sometimes I'll come back to a painting and just do not get it, just not working it well, and sometimes I can go in and just totally ruin what I had done before. And, you know, what do you do with that? Well, I like to go in and if I really don't like what I've done, I'll just go in and scrape it back. I'll just get rid of it. So I want to create, I have this sense again of the trees coming this way. I've got the sky brush strokes going this way. So coming this way, this and this. And here I want to have, here's another, you know, a little curve thing, right? Something that is going to keep the eye in the painting and bring you back in. I don't want you to be taken out of the painting. And these are all just tiny little things. I'm going to add a little bit of the warm yellow into this mix. Raw umber and ultramarine. Just to alter a little bit. The dynamic of the color. Okay, so here's one of the things that I was talking about. It's a directional tool, keeping you back in the painting. I don't want you to drift out. So I'm going to find ways to keep you circling around in here. You know, I have seen online, there's validity to that yes, that is exactly what happens. You know, you can have these markers that will lead you in and stop you from being taken out. Other people say that, you know, that doesn't really stand. For what it's worth, you know, I generally think that it is something that you can use and incorporate in your work. And I think it can be really helpful. Let's get more of a purple color going here. I'm going to dull it down with raw umber. So I chose the raw umber over the burnt sienna because burnt sienna is an orange color and the raw umber is more of a greenish brown color, and the green and the red will cancel each other out. They will gray. They'll, you know, you get a good gray from it, and they can be very soft grays. Can you see that? I like that. And can be used don't want hard edges right there. So I'm softening that up. There. So we have a sense of something going on there in the background. The other thing that's not quite working is that I have this mass here and this one here and then this one here, and they're kind of divided right along the thirds line. And although you know, if you don't actually say something, people might not notice. But I think it can be and should be diminished somehow. And it's either by moving a dark into this area, you know, making this whole section much larger and this one small, which I think is what I'm going to do, because that gives more emphasis on also this focal area here. And I'm going to add some of the orange into this greenish color. Warming it up. Let's see if I can get a very, very dull green, but one that is nevertheless warm. And cool it up, or cool it down. Back here. Bring some of it also into the light areas of this group of trees. Okay, what do you think of that? So I'm that helps. It breaks up the tic-tac-toe thirds area. So like I said, this is the area of the painting where you are the conductor of your orchestra, and you are honing in and going over and picking out the certain instruments and having them play this certain passage, and working with them to, you know, when you hit this note, give it a little bit more pizzazz, a little, you know, play it louder, more staccato, whatever, right? It's the subtleties. And it's these subtleties that will make or break your painting. Again, if you're a beginner, it's probably, I wouldn't worry about it. You'll get there. But I also think that it's really helpful to watch this process and know that this is where you're going in your artwork. So, Blanca, my dear, I hope you are doing well. We're going to have to get together soon. I'll set up, not this week because I'll be going to Athens during the week. The week after, at the end of August, we're going to get together in the members group. Okay? So if anybody wants to join, the members area is $2.99 per month on my YouTube channel. And we get together and you can ask me anything. I upload videos, but mostly we get together on Zoom and discuss things about creativity, about where you are in your on your creative pathway, the things that you need to learn. We discuss various different topics that come up depending on where, what is important to you. And, yeah, it's really lovely. And I fully enjoy, I fully enjoy this group. Okay, so it's really hard for me to talk and think at the same time. I'm going to come back in. I'm going to add just, some burnt sienna to this for up in this area. I'm going to tone this part down. I think it's doesn't need to be. All right, and also going to carry some of this into the foreground areas of this tree or bush. And let me just kind of mix up a new green. To differentiate Ligaiki a little bit. This is kind of a tree. It's a bush, but I made it into a tree. And kind of carries forward. I will bring okay. So what I want to do in this painting is, because the water has such a green tint to it, and it is, you can see in the photo reference just how clear and green it is. Hey, you take care as well, my darling. Okay, so playing around with this, it will probably also cool it down in some areas. I don't want to bring too much attention to these bushy trees. And it feels like I have. If you add titanium white to any color, it will greatly reduce, kind of make it a little bit chalky. So it takes out the vibrancy. Kind of makes it a little bit. I might want to just, not sure I liked it too much. I kind of like that better. I kind of like it better. It's just more toned down, not quite so orangey. And you can tell that these are the bushes coming into the foreground. I'm wiping off my brush, swishing it in the turpentine. And let's take care of another area, which is this backstage area. I'll show you where I mean. back here, right? In the photo reference, you know, these areas can look black. I mean, they just look really dark. And this time of day, it is pretty dark. Coming back up there, right? And do I want a lot of attention in here? Well, no, I don't. So let me just mix. Some grays to kind of get a sense of stones back there. And no, we don't want it to be too outlandish. We don't want it to be too evident. Let's just turn this pile. You see, I mix piles together. Some people would think, oh, that's, you know, don't do that. You're messing up your painting. It just seems to work well for me. So I'm gonna mix more bush type things there. I like that because you can kind of see this dark line that's coming up, and I do want this movement coming forward. So I'm liking this already. So let's get to the focal point area. And before I go in and start doing fine details, everything needs to be set up. Everything needs to be in place. And there's a problem here. I'm going to take a neutral color . Let's get this kind of the separation of this rock here. Okay. That alone really helps, doesn't it? It really helps. I'm quite happy with that. Want to get a little bit more of the blueness of the reflected sky in these areas here. On the tops of these rocks. And I am changing up the reference photo, okay? Now I'm in the stage where I can pretty much do what I want. And everything that I'm deciding to do has to do with with making it all work. So I don't need the reference photo anymore. I don't need to follow it, to copy it, right? I need the, I'm going to add another rock there. That's what I'm going to do. So let's it's not quite in the light. Yeah, maybe not. What do you think? Any suggestions? I'm open to your thoughts. Curious about what you think. Let me get some more. There we go. Oh, I like it. I like it. Okay. Keep on keeping on. Kind of a dulled down orangey color for these bushes here in the light. Creating also on this side, you know, little twists and turns to again bring the eye back down. Okay. Getting a little bit of the tree color, the bushes, in the water area. Not too much. a slight recognition of it there, right? And you can see in the reference photo that it's quite light. The water is very light. I'm hesitant on how to do that. I'm not going to do the crisscross idea, but I am going to do this way, moving in. But I am hesitant. I'm not sure how to actually make it work. And you know, kind of getting that I'm not going to do like wavelet things, but I'm trying to get that same sense that the water okay. Want to get a sense of the shine. You know, the light was just without overdoing it, right? You got to be careful not to overdo. Tone that down a little bit. This area here so that it doesn't, like, you know, again, pull you. Okay, so that actually turned out a lot better than I thought it would. Has a sense of the sparkle. I will go back in the final details and work with that, but do you understand, like, you guys, I'm trying to get the sense of what's going on here, of, you know, the ultimate purpose of the water and how I want the water to go. I'm going to add a little bit of this transparent golden green. I mentioned before is one of my favorite colors, and it's really good for this kind of work, right? That was a bad move there. How do you get that sense of a real still water and the reflection going, right? Those little pockets in the sea water on the surface that catches the sky and reflects it. Okay, I'm going to stop there before I ruin it. Right here, the values are this water value is much too high for the rocks that are underneath. And you can see that it immediately pulls the eye to that area. So that's a no-no. Let's get rid of that. That's better. Still too much for my taste. That works. That works for me. And now let's look at the rocks again. We have this point coming up into this dark space, high contrast. We have this area, which is also a high contrast. This is my preferred focal area, not this. So this needs to be adjusted, needs to be worked with. And trying to figure out how I want to do that. I can just tone it down. Get rid of the this area here. So I'm putting a little bit of turpentine on here. To loosen it up. And see if I can scrape it back. It's a good idea when you have lights to scrape it back and not just paint over it with the dark. Over time, it may come back through, and it probably is not what you need or what you wanted. So let me hold on to the painting here. Okay, got some of that paint off. And that's what I wanted to do. I think that is better, that it doesn't quite like draw the eye. There. See, I like that as well. And I can get a stronger sense of a line there. Crack in the rock. Creating some edges. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, it did make a difference, didn't it? And like I said, these are the subtle things that before you get into the final details, they are the subtle things that that we need to do to really pull the painting together. And I'm quite happy with the things that have happened so far. And this little tiny area just makes a difference. Now you're no longer focused here, and the eye comes up to that area. So my question is, do I add a seagull anywhere? If you guys remember, let me show you my other painting. So here's another painting that I did of a rock formation at another beach, and I love the little seagull there. But of course, I don't want to do seagulls everywhere just because I did one there. I mean, a seagull would work just fine there, but I'm not sure that I need anything at all. What do you think? Wait a minute. It looks like a what reclining? The rocks going up. Stewie. The lower rocks on the right going up. Do you mean these here? There's a little heart in front of the word. Looks like a worm? Is that what you're saying? A reclining worm? Oh dear. Okay. Let me know. Let's see. So I'm going to keep going. I'm liking what is happening. The areas over here are subtle, mellow, nothing too much, right? And all of the emphasis is coming here. This is leading up there. Maybe this rock needs to be, it's too bland and too flat. The color is too flat. In reality, it is much grayer than what it is now. So I think I'm going to go and actually gray that down. This is another area that needs to be worked with. So in the photo reference, I think quite a bit of the raw umber is coming in. I am going to warm it up with a mix between the two, burnt sienna and raw umber, which will kind of gray things down on their own anyways. And add a tad of ultramarine blue. Let's see what we've got. A warm gray. I think I want it darker though. Okay. Okay, that's better. It's just already better. And I took the emphasis off of this line here. Can you see that? By lowering the value and the color, right? Let's get a more sense of these rocks in here. Okay. Just a sense. Okay. Oh, how exciting. Okay. I feel I like it. I feel like it's working. And so I took the emphasis off of the hard line here. I would probably go in and make hard edges in the final stages, and brought the movement here instead with this lighter value. So it is creating this. This is the way that I want to go, and I've got the brush strokes in the sky going this way, so, and I've got this little tree here coming up to pointing us back into the painting. Everything seems to be working quite nicely. Let's get a better feel for the water. All right, I want to kind of, felt like the water was kind of slanting down, and still does. So I'm getting just little marks of how the water might be. Might be working. Okay. Not sure about this here. Maybe. Maybe. In these lighter, areas here, just a little bit of marks. Okay, just subtle marks. This is all submerged, so if I want to get, I'm going to come back because I'm at a point with the water here that I can really mess it up if I'm not careful. Oops, sorry about that, guys. Okay, so I am going to wrap it up here. I hope you saw and got a better understanding of the things that need to happen. So creating the right brush strokes for the underlying design of the painting, creating markers to keep you from, or keep the viewer from disappearing and going out of the painting. And getting a better sense of the bushes back here and how that works, and getting rid of these lines, the separation of the bushes in shadow on the thirds grid, and moving it over here, getting just breaking that up so it doesn't look like a tic-tac-toe board, which it did to me. fixing these rocks down here, breaking them up, creating new rocks, not exactly in tune with the photo reference. I don't like this right here. Don't like that. No, 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 no. That has to disappear. I'll have to come back and work on that. So just basically covering that up for now. Now that's a huge sore spot to me. But it is what it is. Okay, I'll have to. That'll just bother me until I fix it. But anyways, going on, fixing these rocks, lowering the value of these rocks, and getting rid of this sharp line and point that the rocks created. And yes, that is the way it is in the reference photo. If you go look at it, this area is different. I have altered it because I keep wanting to pull the areas this way and that way, getting you to this area up here. I don't know if I'm going to put any birds there or not. I think what I could do is put a bird here like in the other painting, but maybe add a few more, make it a more populated bird area. The other thing was getting the right feel of the still water without doing the stripes that are in the photo reference. And the water had a sense of sliding downwards. So I had to bring that up by adding in these lines here, and it just leveled out the water immediately. So those are some of the things that we did today. And now the painting is ready for fine details. There may be a few other things like this area that I messed up. Just have to figure out what it is that I don't like about it, that I didn't like. But this line coming down in the middle just seemed like half, this is the same size as this rock over here, and or close enough. And no, that cannot be. So I'm gonna think about that and come back and adjust that. So that's it, you guys. Let me come in and get the FaceTime. Hey everyone. So that's what we did. Let me see. I can't get to the painting. Anyways, I really loved today. Like I said, I was coming back to reestablish the connection with my painting. And sometimes I come back, like I said, sometimes I come back and I'm just so disconnected from it that I don't know what I want to do with it. So I usually, like today, I just didn't know what to do with it. So I came back and started with the sky. And when I got the sky in, again, working from the background to the foreground. And by the time I got working on those trees in the midground there, I don't know, everything just began to wake up and come into place. So I like this. I like what happened. I will be turning this demonstration into a time-lapse video and putting it up on my YouTube channel for those who just want a quick, I don't know, 7-minute go through of this stage of the painting. This is an important stage of your painting. Before you get into the final details, everything has to be set. Everything. In order to create final details, the fine details, and have them work, everything has to be in place. So you guys, thank you so much for being here. I absolutely loved having you and sharing this time with you. Be inspired, be creative, be you, and never, ever, ever stop